Californians are discovering the real risks behind Prop 46. It was written and paid for by the trial lawyers to make them millions, while for the rest of us, healthcare costs go up.
That's one television ad opposing Proposition 46, a California ballot measure up for a vote this election day. The initiative is meant to raise the cap on medical malpractice payouts, require mandatory drug and alcohol testing for doctors and hospitals, and force doctors to use a state database to track their patients' prescriptions for painkillers. A vocal supporter of the measure is Erin Brockovich, champion for consumer rights, who joins me now from California. So Erin, you plan to vote yes on Election Day on Prop 46. What's making you choose to support this measure?
Well, I think one of the first things that startled me about this, and I'm always out there advocating for consumers' rights, and this is about saving lives and helping the victims that have been harmed by medical negligence. And one thing that startled me was I had looked at the Journal of Patient Safety in a recent study that it is estimated over 400,000 people in the United States lose their lives due to medical negligence. And part of the proposition is to have a safety factor, if you will, that gives hospitals and these facilities the right, if there's a physician in question that may be under the influence of something, to drug test them. And that is part of the proposition. And there is another part to the proposition, and it's the concern in the insurance industry's fight with us is about raising the med mal cap.
Right, which was set in the 1970s, right, by then Governor Jerry Brown, and there was no inflation adjustment to it, so it's capped right now at $250,000, correct?
That is correct. And these med mal insurance companies make more money than any other insurance company in the country. Yet when we have a victim that's been harmed by med mal, they don't pay out those claims. And for me, that's fornication without any representation, and it's really frustrating. And this Proposition 46 is designed to better protect a victim's right.
I will note, though, that
why I'm voting yes.
Okay, well, but I will note the opposition to Prop 46 is very widespread. You have the editorial boards of many California newspapers are opposing it, and folks are basically saying that, you know, doctors will leave the state if it's approved because they're going to be subjected to these testing, and that your medical prescription records will be subject to, you know, a state database and somebody might be able to hack it. How do you respond to the opposition?
Well, when I look at the amount of money that they're putting out there to try to defeat the proposition, it always makes me suspicious. But I do believe that it is one front for us as a consumer, us as the patient, to have a little more safety. I mean, we do have, you know, random drug testing for pilots, and I think that's important. You know, doctors play an enormous role, and this isn't about wanting to attack doctors. I would think that any doctor in good standing would not want the few out there that are making it bad and running liability to all of them.
Okay, and Erin, before we wrap, real quick, according to your Wikipedia page, which I know is not always the greatest source of truth, you're a consultant for Girardi & Keese, which is a law firm that specializes in personal injury claims. A, is that true? And does that make you potentially conflicted on this issue?
No, you know, I consult with lots of law firms that work on behalf of consumer safety. That is my job as a consumer advocate. And my job is not to tell a voter or a consumer how to choose, but rather to give them information that I know, that I believe, that I've learned, that I've researched, that can better inform them to make choices what's right for them. So I consult with many different types of groups, and some of the lawyers are that. And they are there in many situations to protect the person. And, you know, everybody out there that's working makes an income, but that's not what it's about for them. And it is about righting a wrong, and that happens all day long. And so I know it frustrates people, but it is not about the trial lawyers making more money. And I understand why people think that. But okay, I'll tell you what, there are many, many attorneys out there, and Girardi & Keese being one of them, that are there to represent the best that they can for a person who's been harmed and protect their rights.
Okay, obviously we'll see how it
And I
plays
believe in
out
that.
on Tuesday with Prop 46. Erin, thanks very much for joining us.
You're very welcome.